It is a beautiful beginning of a Tuesday afternoon, Jay, and that can only mean one thing, that the Protect You podcast is back, folks, for yet another heated week of action where, Jay, you and I had a lot going on, obviously business negotiations that we'll get into later on in this one, but then we also had to keep some very close tabs on our athletes playing in some big-time college championship games as well as some high school games.
Yeah, brother. I mean, we got an action-packed show. You're right. I mean, we get to talk about so much, but yeah, we got championships to give some shout-outs to some members of the Protect You crew. I mean, we got some bowl game announcements, which is pretty cool to talk about some of our college guys getting that extra game, extra 3 weeks of film and getting to be all on national TV, right?
Yeah.
Which is going to be awesome to talk about. And of course, the high school football playoffs, right? That's where it starts.
Yes.
Right. That's where it starts. So, action-packed show. So excited that we're at this part of the season. And I'm ready to kick this thing off.
Absolutely, because at this stage of the postseason, as we're eaching into it, getting closer and closer into that, high school was way ahead of the curve, and now the college guys are starting to get to that mark as well.
Yeah.
We start off in the ball and get the call segment, a fan favorite, and one that the parents love to see the action for their guys.
I know, it's like we have to have this be right at the beginning of the show. Like if we try to bury it. Yeah.
Nope. This is we like to call these the hook segment. We throw the line out there and we get some guys hooked in. And one thing that was definitely exciting to see over the weekend, and one thing that got me hooked, even though it was the conference that my team is in, but it's never bad to see Justin Williams get out there and get some action for the Georgia Bulldogs as they took on the Alabama Crimson Tide in the SEC championship game. And Jay, our guy got involved immediately on the first Alabama drive.
Exactly. After that point block, you see Justin recover that. Hey, and he went back to his old running back days. Justin being a running back before he went over to linebacker. I was hoping he was going to house call that thing, but he got tackled pretty quick. But I know when he saw that bounce, I mean, you see him teeing it up too. That's what I like about Justin's instincts, right? And as we continue to let this roll through, you're going to see him watch and wait for that extra bounce. And when he realizes it, right, watch number 19 just kind of sitting there, hop, he's waiting, sees that bounce, and he's like, oh, it's go time. He cuts upfield. And you see our guy in action. I mean, cannot be more happier, right? One of the guys that's on the Mount Rushmore of the Protection United brand here. And, just getting to see Justin do his thing and to win a SEC championship. We already know they're in the college football playoff. They were in it regardless of a win or loss, but they got a first round bye, and they get to sit back and kind of wait to see who the winner is of another game. But I can't wait to interview him again. We're going to interview him again before
for
game
sure.
and talk about it. I'm sure Justin will tell us yes. I know he's a busy man these days in time. But happy for Justin, and he definitely balled, and he got the call.
Yes, because he was part of a stout defensive front there for Georgia. Pitched a great game up until Alabama finally got on the board very late in that one. It was looking like the Bulldogs were going to shut them out, and that's a true statement of a win.
Exactly.
28-7, avenging their loss to Alabama earlier in the year on the biggest stage possible, too.
Exactly, brother.
And
domination.
And an excellent job there for Justin Williams. Now, two-time back-to-back SEC champion.
I think he's only a sophomore. True sophomore. Throw that out there. So, first freshman year, SEC championship. Sophomore year, SEC championship. Maybe the hat trick next year.
Possibly. There's a strong possibility for that. It's going to be shaken up. Interesting, too, to see that, because now SEC is going to move to that 3 permanent matchup framework that they got going into next year. So we could be looking at some very entertaining matchups.
Yeah, we will.
For Justin and those Georgia Bulldogs. And we'll shift gears just a little bit here now to the high school ranks, as 2 of our guys are still in the dance here for the Texas high school playoffs. I know our Louisiana guys, Brian Reeder, Isaiah Stokes. Unfortunate that y'all took those losses, but hell of a performance from both of y'all throughout the Louisiana high school state playoffs. But Dylan Mitchell was one of the 2 guys that are still left in the dance here for the state of Texas, as Dylan did an excellent job in getting some punt return and some special teams play against one of the nationally ranked teams in Summer Creek.
Yeah, I mean, and you're going to see this play. I mean, Dylan, they try to do a reverse, and then Dylan reverses right back. Jake, it's like when you're playing Uno, right? I throw a reverse card, And then you throw a reverse card, throw it right back to me. That's what happened on this clip. I mean, once again, as it plays through, you're watching a Dylan Mitchell that the play is designed. Wow, we're letting this play. I like that. Look at the excitement and look at the joy. They have such a special season at CE King. But you watch this play, it is designed for Dylan to actually come and run back towards the right. The wall is set up, is there, and he's like, nah, I don't like that. We didn't block it well, so let me go be special. And that's what Dylan Mitchell does, a.k.a. Superman, a.k.a. Mr. Autopilot. And look what he does. Flips the field. And what a huge matchup. I mean, they beat Summer Creek earlier in the year, had to play them again, Jake. And then look at what's happening now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's hard to beat a great team twice. And that's what CE King did. And they're still in the hunt for a state championship.
That they are, because now they're down to the state Final Four for the Division II ranks. They'll take on Vandergrift in their next matchup, but an excellent job there for Dylan, and a great job, too, I think, of taking full advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah.
The rest of that stat sheet didn't look too great for him, but he still finds a way to make an impact regardless of where that team puts him on the field.
Exactly. Well, and that's what we've been talking about all year with Dylan. I mean, he's a kid that can help with the run game. He can help with the receiving game. He also can help with the special teams game.
Yep.
Right. He's also on, that kickoff return, the kickoff where if they're trying to recover on side or just need to go down and make a tackle. I mean, he truly is a real life version of a Swiss Army knife.
Yes. I like that. I like that comparison. Call him Swiss Army Man, I think, from now on.
Hey, I'm gonna call his dad and say, "Hey, Bill, can I add this?
Add this to the list of nicknames that we got.
AKA Autopilot, AKA Swiss Army knife.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like that too, because not only is that a great showing for CE King out of one of the most competitive districts in the state of Texas, where you're talking about them, Summer Creek, but then you also throw North Shore into the mix as well, where Brandon Abair was putting in work in their dominant win in a 46-29 win for North Shore over Dickinson. Jay, they're still dancing in the Texas State playoffs.
Yeah, they are. And, I love that North Shore recognizes Brandon's talent so much that he started out the season off as being at right tackle. Now they've slided him over to left tackle. Everybody that knows anything about football knows that is, in my opinion, if not the best, most important position for offensive linemen is right there with it. It's a tie for first. And moving him to left tackle shows that how much they trust him, how much they know that he has the skill set, the feet, and everything that's needed. I mean, even on that play, them pulling him from left tackle also shows his athleticism as well. I mean, look at that, another pull, right, that just helped the running back just run right off his butt. But, going and playing for North Shore and getting real film as a junior, that speaks high vibes because we know how much talent is over there. But once again, to move him to the most important position on the offensive line, in my personal opinion, at left tackle just shows what Brandon's doing and what he's bringing to those North Shore Mustangs.
Absolutely, because they've been on a very dominant run throughout this postseason. Yeah. They continue to march forward as they are also in the state Final Four, but this time for the Division I ranks, and they'll have one of the most anticipated matchups of the entire season in this entire playoff bracket as they will get ready to take on Lake Travis, Jay. That's a dang good matchup when you're getting down to the state Final Four ranks. North Shore looking to reclaim their spot as one of the perennial state champions in the state of Texas. So we'll be pulling for you, Brandon, every step of the way. And one guy that already completed his journey because they were just a week ahead of everybody else out of the TAPS in the private school era was Kingston Buyer out of All Saints. And Jay, a lot of teams dream about climbing the mountaintop and planting their flag, but All Saints and Kingston Buyer absolutely did that, claiming their spot as state champions of the private school sector.
Yeah, bro. And you see Kingston, right? Just, creating, that would have been a touchdown pass. Nice, the referee helped the quarterback up. Kingston wasn't going to do it. But that was a wide open tight end. And, if Kingston doesn't make that play, that's a touchdown, for their opponent. But you see Kingston just throughout these clips. The way he fights off double teams, and I love how the young man always keeps a shoulder clean. He finds a way to rip through, the offensive line. And just look at that. Even on that, he blocks the punt, just showing his get off and his speed, the athleticism that comes with it. And of course, you see three just all over the field. Not shocked, Jake, that he got the freaking MVP of the game because of just what he did on that defensive line to where they couldn't run, they couldn't throw. I mean, nothing was going to work because they couldn't block three.
Yes, and I like what you said there too of his drive and his get off, because this is a guy that was double teamed all throughout the postseason, a guy that had to always have those assignments on him as he hits the night there in the final tackle that seals the game there for All Saints in what was a 34-16 dub over Second Baptist. But like you said, Jay, this is a guy that you have to always be attentive of when you're out there on the defensive front. A guy that you have to be aware of because he'll make you pay if you don't take care of him properly. And even as you saw there on one of those earlier plays, works into a double team, but like you said, keeps an arm away so he can spin out of that. Spin away. He even bowled over his own teammate to get out there and make a tackle. I don't care if you're wearing the same uniform as me. Get out the way because I'm going to make a play.
Yeah, no, exactly. And here's the deal that I also love about Kingston that most people don't know. We were blessed to find this out, when we went after him and wanted to sign him up to be a part of Protection United. It was that this young man actually cares about his academics. And this is not just lip service. No one's paying me to say this. It's actually true. I mean, he has every school that he's actually, because they're in a weird spot where there's a couple of high schools that he could actually go play at and compete, right, in the public school sector. But yet he wants to go to a private school and told his dad that, hey, I want to stay here because I understand that there's going to be life after football, and I want to make sure that I'm surrounding myself not only with the right people that can help me be very successful in life, but also I want to make sure that I can stand on my own 2 feet to where I have options to where I can play college football, but I can also go get a good education. And even if I'm blessed to go play in the NFL one day, I know that after football, I can be intelligent enough to run my own business and I'll understand how that works. And, that was one of the things that really most intrigued me about him, because I've heard other kids say that. And then you look and you're like, but I also get why you're a private school kid. I mean, when you look at Kingston, Jake, and you see like he could play for any school in the state of Texas. And if you could play at any school in the state of Texas, that means you can play at any school in the nation, right? I mean, this dude is a monster. And what he is doing and showing on the defensive line is proof in that, and I look forward to seeing Kingston this summer going through the camp circuit and dominating these quote unquote 4- and 5-star offensive guards and offensive centers that got all the accolades that might play for the bigger schools. And I look forward to seeing them being able to block Kingston over and over again because my bet's going to be on him.
Yes.
And his intelligence, and that's the other side of it too, is that he's not just on that dog mentality, but he also has the intelligence, Jay, to understand. You talked about, or we talked about him keeping his hands clean and free, always keeping the shoulder free. That's because he understands the game. It's not just the domination side. He also gets that 90% of football is what's between here, right? And it's that mental. And you watch his whole season, he never lost his composure. Even when guys tried to get him out of his composure, he understood the assignment. And he's a student of the game. He watches film. He breaks down his opponents. And that takes intelligence, Jake, to be able to take what you see on film, discipline to watch the film, and then to be able to go and execute it at a very high rate. That's what we're seeing in Kingston Bayer.
No doubt on that, Jay. He was one of the perennial leaders of that team out there at All Saints, and because of his leadership and the great overall team quality out there, All Saints finishes a perfect 14-0 on the season, and obviously state champions.
Wow.
And now looking to join those guys and potential prospects of making the ball. There you go. There you go.
Hey, it's not just lip service here. There it is.
This guy stands on business and he knows exactly what he is about. Defensive MVP for the 2025 state championship. Just pile those accolades. I can't imagine what that trophy case looks like there for Kingston.
Yeah, bro.
That must be just a pile. There's no more organization. There's too many things in there to organize them all. But
you got to get another trophy case.
Like one of the walls of his bedroom is just cases.
Hey, Steven, I know you're watching. You're going to have to go get another trophy case. So make room. Make room. Maybe after you take down the Christmas tree, that could be a good spot.
There you go.
Just put it right there.
To say, because he's still got another year left in him too. I got another one in me. I think I got another one in
Let's
me.
run it back. Let's run it back. He's got another year, 2027, one of the top D linemen in the nation. And yeah, looking forward to working with him more and helping him with his recruitment and continuing to grow. And also, too, guys, for the ones that are watching in, especially our newbies, before we go to this next segment, please go to our YouTube channel, Protection United. We would love it if you hit that subscribe button. And if you have a comment or a question, please write it on there. Computer Jesus, our amazing producer, will interrupt us to get on the mic to ensure that he gets that read.
Yes, absolutely. Because not only are we very excited to talk about the accolades and a lot of the success that our guys have been bringing on, but we're equally excited to bring new members into the Protect You crew. And we start out because we got a batch of 4 guys coming in here, matching us with ball and get the call. 4 guys going out. We got Malik Brown is the first one that we're going to get to here with one of the iciest photos I think we've ever gotten for any of the commitment images. Whoever that photographer knew what they were doing, because Malik is one of the strongest, I think, under the radar potential transfer linebackers that are going to be going out there in the nation. Coming out of Bethel University in Tennessee, this sophomore linebacker ended the 2025 year with 38 tackles, 4 sacks, and the 1 interception that you just saw there.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of, I would say, one of the most under-recruited linebackers, coming out of his respective class. But this young man, did it all. I mean, just look at, him getting off the edge and hitting the quarterback. But, I mean, he can do a lot of things. He could be that blitzing linebacker. As we saw in that first clip, he can also be back in pass coverage, coming downhill hard on the run support. I mean, golly, just blowing people up left and right. But, they have him playing a lot of key positions, for this team. And, Malik is a dude. We're blessed to have found him. Once again, like I said, he's like a diamond in the rough, and honored to be repping him here at Protection United. As we're continuing to watch his clips just roll through. I mean, he's this kid's doing it all, man.
Yes, he is a beast, and very well deserving too of equal accolades, as he also finished as a second-team all-conference player out of the All-Mid-South. So there's a lot of hype coming around this guy too, Jay. And I think one of the best parts of why the partnership makes sense here with Protection United is this is a guy that, like we said, flew under the radar and now has an excellent opportunity to really put his name and put his talents out there for schools that might be looking for one of those plucky linebacker positions.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's when Malik reached out, once he declared, for the portal, and him wanting to kind of go ahead and get his name out there, although the portal doesn't open until, January 2nd. So we can't reach out, and talk to GMs on his behalf until, January 2nd. It's still set up to where I applaud what he did, because he wanted the world to know, go ahead and start, evaluating me now. Right. And, he reached out. He knew that we had high level success of being in the portal. He also knew that we, went undefeated last season. He did his research. He's like, hey, man, I heard y'all batted 1,000 last year in regards to that portal. And, he knows of some people that we also represented that spoke very highly of us. And so this is like a, match made in heaven, right? You got a great athlete that can do a lot of things on the football field that can help a lot of other teams with his skill set. And, bringing us onto the fold, kind of promoting him, kind of like how we're talking about him now on the pod. But, us and our internal team, reaching out to coaches on his behalf, athletic directors, general managers, et cetera, and showing him that, hey, joining us, we can kind of help you get from being in the back of the line to moving you into the front of the line. Because every general manager that we've worked with, they understand that we're going to vet out our guys and make sure that they have the grades, right? We only want to rep someone that has a 3.0 or higher. We're going to make sure they don't do anything, stupid on social media. Those kind of things we've been able to help with Malik and make sure that all that was done. So by the time we bring it, it's almost like a plug and play situation, for a future linebacker coach, because they know that the things that they may not be able to have time to go research and look at in regards to social media and in his personal life, right? Is he a yes or no sir type of guy, or is he a yeah, nah, and all that, right? They know the kind of guys that we represent here at Protection United. And so this is going to be a great fit for Malik.
Absolutely a great fit for him. And he joins another incoming group of Protect You athletes here where we got a little bit of a double dip here. For two siblings that we're bringing in.
Is it kind of like a Davis and Dylan Kenny situation that you're about to bring up?
I think so, Jay.
Where one's in college and one's in high school?
I think so. I think so, Jay. And rivaling programs as well there too, because out of Baylor University, we have Mason Dossett, who is, I think, one of the more unique guys that we brought in here. Number 31, but he plays wide receiver. And when you look at a lot of his film, you're going to think, man, this guy could have done a lot for Baylor, but obviously things behind the scenes didn't necessarily go his way, but we're looking to take full advantage of his talents here now that he's a part of the Protect You crew.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, he started out hot as fish grease and unfortunately got hurt early in the season. And you know how things go from there. At that point, coaches want to just lock in and stay with certain guys. It's not like Baylor had a killer season this year, so I'm not really sure why they didn't roll with them. But I mean, look at this world track speed. I mean, it's world-class track speed, bro.
Leaves everyone in the dust.
Yeah, and this is not a high school track meet, guys. This is a collegiate track meet where nobody should be getting torched like that. But Mason, great father, Martin Dossett, ironically played for, and wait for this, stay widescreen for my computer, Jesus, so I can look at Jake's reaction to this.
Go for it.
Dad played at Baylor with Rod Kenny and the great Derek Lagway, right? So
it's great how those things work out,
right? Exactly, But Martin had a great career himself, got to play in the NFL as well, so it makes sense why Mason has that speed, right? And he's a young man that I personally feel if things don't work out for him, at Baylor, if he wants to ever leave or things do work out, whatever it is, his future is very bright because at the end of the day, it's hard to teach speed. If that makes sense, right? You can train for it, you can work your ass off for it, but to actually be able to accomplish that kind of speed, the kid has great hands. He has a great route running ability. He has great feet. I mean, like, he's not some kid that you just got to go sell of, oh, he has a high motor or he's a football player. This dude is an absolute dog on the football field. And I cannot wait for the right coaches to recognize that talent. Because the moment they recognize that talent, they're going to see, holy, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
I got a guy. And now we can do all kinds of things. I mean, imagine him on a jet sweep. Imagine him in the screen game.
Sure.
To go along with running the complete route tree, right? He's got the height. I mean, he's got the measurables. There is nothing that this young man does not meet on the check boxes. I'm still flabbergasted that Baylor didn't jump on that immediately, and the moment he got healthy, why they didn't get him back on the field. Like I said, it's not like that they were undefeated competing for a Big 12 championship with a chance to play in the college football playoff.
Especially, too, with a gunslinger of a quarterback like Sawyer Robertson was. You think he'd get out there and sling the rock with a wide receiver like that?
Well, that's my point. And so that is the things that, I guess we are not paid to go investigate. What we are paid to go do is take care of our guys at the Protect You crew. So, Mason, welcome to the squad, homie. We got your back. Looking forward to working with you, man. He's a great young man, too. I've talked to him a couple of times. He was calling me Mr. Mickens. I said, hold on, homie. Yeah, look, you're going to call me Jay. Like, the only way this is going to work is you're going to call that's my dad, Mr. Mickens. I'm Jay. He's like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Okay, I got you. That's even easier, But great young man, raised the right way, and that's what you get, right? So, once again, another kid that coaches won't get you fired. And if you find the right one and you utilize him the right way, he'll probably get you a coaching contract extension.
Yes. Him, and then also little brother also joining the Protect You crew.
Like it.
Like you said, Jay, we got a little bit of a Dylan and a Davis Kinney type situation going here, because also joining the Protect You crew is Bryson Dossett, a guy that's been drawing a lot of attention as a Ridge Point class of 2027 safety who, if you go and check his social medias, Jay, just picked up an offer from Texas A&M.
Yeah, and the reason why is because this dude is probably the best safety in the freaking nation. this young man has shown the ability to not only come downhill and help and run. Oh my! Look at that.
Just running back out.
I mean, look at the support in the run game. But then he can also draw back in coverage and do what he needs to do there. I mean, look at the ball hawking skill set, bro. I mean, this dude. I mean, played for Ridgepoint. They went undefeated. Tough loss to a North Shore squad in the second round, right? Which there's no shame in losing to potentially the next state champion. But I mean, look what he does, and look at the closing speed. Jesus, it's like Martin just produced speed. Like I feel like his kids, and rather his wife only went into labor for maybe like 2 minutes.
Say, because it was quick.
It was quick. I just feel like they were like, "Come on, hey mama, hey dad." Like, damn, you already here. We got this whole hospital room for no reason. We could have had the kids at house. But he's so fast, just like his dad, like brother. And, I mean, he's a young man that, I mean, just look at that. Setting the edge. Oh, keeping outside containment. And then look at all that green. And he still breaks down and makes the tackle. I mean, look at it. They got him at a linebacker, said that strong safety spot. He can play free safety. This dude's got offers from all over. He ain't even got a camp anymore. Like, straight up, when we work with Bryson, I'm going to tell him, look, dog, let's just go to Rivals. Let's go to Under Armour. Let's go to Nike. And let's just go to, like, those 5-6 camps because, there's, Rivals likes to kind of go set up, 3 or 4 shops all over the nation. Let's just go dominate all over the nation, but just in those 4 areas. And let's continue to get more stars. He doesn't need to go camping for colleges anymore. I mean, he's that guy. He's at that level. Once again, another young man. Oh, look at that, Jake. Oh, just great ball skills. Another guy that meets the eye test. The measurables are there. The speeds are there. The aggressiveness is there. The run support is there. The ball hawking ability is there. The good feet is there. The high IQ is there. Good looking kid, very marketable. Everything you need.
Yes.
Everything.
He's got the complete package.
The complete package.
And I think that's why so many schools have already gotten that attention on him because he's got the great film. Yeah. He's done an excellent job of already promoting himself. And now that he's a member of the crew, we just got to elevate that. Take it to that next level. Shift it up that gear that I don't even think he knew he had.
Man, look here, man. Bryson's a dog. Bryson, you might not be watching now live. I can't wait for you to watch the replay. I know high schools now, they make y'all put your phones up and give it away. You can't be on your phones anymore. But straight up, bro, man, we're honored and blessed to be representing you. And I am excited for this young man, like thoroughly excited to be repping him and getting him the promotion that he needs to help him earn those other stars. Because at the end of the day, the main thing's the main thing. His talent speaks, right? I mean, he flies off of the film, right, in regards to everything he's doing. And but him coming and being a part of Protection United and understanding there's another side to this. There's a new world to this when it comes to the negotiations with the NIL deals, realizing that, mom and dad could do it, but they don't know the details, right? A lot of these general managers are screwing over these parents because they're like, hey, you don't need an agent. You don't need any representation because we can just do it with you. But then they're going to like try to lowball. They're not going to understand like how we know when we come knocking. No, I know that you're hurting, coach. I know that you're on a hot seat. I know that you need this guy. Let's stop playing games here. Give me the real, give me your best offer and try to build and grow from there, right? And but Bryson's going to be a dude, as everybody can see.
Yes.
And I'm excited. He's got another year of high school football.
So that's even more film that he's getting out there. That's more of those connections that we have grown so deeply here at Protection United. We get to take full advantage of that.
Yeah.
In terms of, I don't know if shopping this guy out is the right idea, but teams are already window shopping, knowing that, shoot, I may need to get a piece of Bryson Dawson in my life.
I expect him to have I expect him to have an offer from every school in the SEC, the Big 12, and once we start reaching out to our Big 10 guys in the Big 10 as well before it's all said and done. Mm-hmm. Like, he's a young man that will literally get to pick where he wants to go. And that's the American dream for a high school football player, to have that full control of your future. And I'm excited for him.
Yes, we're very excited for him. And then last but certainly not least, joining the Protect You crew, you talked about how Rod has been so helpful in bringing a lot of those connections forward, but then also the Coleman fam has done an excellent job in terms of making sure things stay fresh, making sure that we're always connected. Obviously, Bryce, Tavis, Samaro, the first lady of Protection United, they do an excellent job of making sure that we're on top of it. And they brought forward this guy that said that he could also use some help when it comes to transfer portal situations. We're, of course, talking about Levante Johnson. This was, Jay, I think one of the more enthusiastic Zoom calls and one of the more enthusiastic pre-meeting calls that we've ever had, because Levante's family, they were all about it. Yeah. You get to see it here with a little bit of the taste of this film that we got going here, so graciously provided by Mr. Johnson. But a Rice University quarterback that is trying to look for and find further opportunities out of the transfer portal, and he just gets out there and lays the wood, where some of these guys that are entering the transfer portal, they might not have the greatest of film, but Levante's already got that. And now he has a chance to get out there and shop his opportunities at other future D1 schools.
Yeah, exactly. And, big shout out to Pops, man. I mean, I feel like I'm watching Bagman, the series, back when I was a kid with the like
it's some Adam West Batman.
Yeah, and it's like the pow and the choo and all the sounds effects. I mean, but yeah, no, I mean, Levante's a baller. What he's doing in the secondary, what he did at Rice, and hey, I mean, that there's still opportunities there as well, right? For him to stay, at Rice is just all about, what he wants to do. I don't know if there's been an official announcement or anything in that regard. It was okay, great. So, I just want to be fair to the young man. Yeah, just triple check that for me, Jake. If you said it with confidence, I remember, the opportunities there. So yeah, just kind of confirm that before I go too deep. But he's still a ball hawk. I mean, played at the great North Shore High School, right? So just another great North Shore High School product. And we also have, we got breaking there. Yeah, there it is. Dang, what day was that?
That one was actually posted 2 hours ago.
Okay. Look at you.
Finger on the pulse.
I like
finger on the pulse.
Is that what it was? Or was it a blindfold and you threw a dart and
finger on the pulse?
Finger on the pulse?
No, because I knew that we had that we had everything put together for him.
I love it.
Great support, obviously, from the family from that one as well. Making sure that we knew exactly that we needed to be on the same page. Madison, our excellent executive assistant, got everything together on that end. So seamless process, and we were on top of it.
Well, hell, here we go. He's out there. He's in the portal, and he's with the crew. So which means the head coaches, I'm about to hit you up. No, seriously, in all honesty, another, smart move by him, kind of getting it out there, allowing the evaluation process to go. So then on January 2nd, I'm gonna enjoy New Year's Eve. I'm gonna have to rest up on New Year's.
Get straight to work.
No, because January 2nd is gonna be crazy, right? But yeah, I mean, you see Levante, great family, like you said. I mean, that was probably one of our most fun, consultation Zooms, right? That we got to be on when they reached out. Great parents, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. Thank y'all so much for your support. But Levante had to make this decision, right? And he wanted to come with Protection United. He knew that he needed to have some representation. He knew that he needed to have somebody that could help, right? A lot of times in this transfer portal, it's like a speed dating, right? It's not like a normal Jake official visit like the high schools where you go for a whole weekend, they bring you in Friday, you wake up, eat breakfast, you go watch the game and the pregame and all the stuff. Then you go back after, talk to the team, eat dinner, go back to the hotel, wake up the next morning, talk to the coaches, and they're like, no, it's like, we're going to fly you in Tuesday and fly you out Wednesday. When you're in the transfer portal, you could go to like 3 schools in 1 week. It's just bap. So when you need to divide and conquer, dad needs to be able to make sure that the coaches believe in their son. Levante needs to go find out and make sure that the school and the system fits his skill set. And they got plans for him in regards of playing him. Mom needs to go find out where her baby's going to lay his head down. Is there a washer and dryer close by, right? Are they going to feed my baby the right way? Like, that's Mama Bear's role. But then there's the other role of the business side, right? A lot to accomplish just for one person to do, right? And that's too much pressure on the young man, too much pressure on mom and dad. Us being able to take that business side off of their plate, handle that, go get all the deals, lay it out in front of them, and then say, here is everybody that's offered you, and here is your NIL packages that come with it. what do you think? Because when you bring all the minds together, it's like a divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Because then you lay out who has the best facilities, who has the best care situation of the apartment, as well as the food, as well as the wash and dry situation, who's going to play me the most. And then here is, the NIL package. We come together as a family, Jake, and put all that together. It helps the young man make the right decision because let's be real, there's not a lot of time. The portal's from January 2nd to the 16th. You got to find a home because you got to get into school.
Yeah.
You can't go through January without being in school or you're going to miss that semester. You can't miss a whole month worth of school. So, yeah, it's great that they moved the portal back, but it's not great for the student part of the student athlete. Hence why having representation to help you navigate through all that is what we're here to help do. And a lot of parents, especially our last year's class, they really appreciated us being able to help through that. And I feel confident that we're going to be able to do the same for this year's class.
Say, and speaking of those points there too, Jay, one of the biggest things that kept our attention over the last week was the early signing period, where that runs from December 3rd to December 5th. So it's a very tight window for a lot of those guys that are going to be making their commitments and making the jump to the Division I level. And Protection United did an excellent job of setting up success and making sure that all of our guys knew exactly where they were going to be should they sign during that period. And Jay, I'll toss it over to you because we were very successful in making sure that we got as much coverage as possible, but you can talk a lot more, obviously, on the business side of things and how that works on the behind the scenes negotiation part of what makes signing day so special.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. It was a long week. It was a long week, having to work through all of the conversations with coaches, right, with the general managers. And, I was blessed to talk to a lot of great head coaches too. Coach Dillingham reached out, head man at Arizona State. That was pretty cool, right, to be like, wow, we've arrived at that level where the big man takes time to talk. But going through the entire week of having to go through contracts, right? The breakdown of, having to get with our sports attorney, right? Once the contracts were, finalized and we're going back and forth because, November 15th, as we talked about before, was when the contracts could be released. They got to us and then we lay it out. Some schools were dragging their feet a little bit and we had to nudge them to get it, but we got them all in. And just talking to, our athletes, because some of them, right, were already committed and they stayed locked in from this summer all the way through and didn't really want to entertain anybody else. We had a couple of guys that did that, and like a Raleigh Pinto as well as like EJ, Artigue. But, the other six, they had a lot, right? A lot of options for our early signees. And it came down, Jake, to the midnight hour. I can't go in details, but we had one client of ours that flipped 3 times in one Zoom, right? Because it was almost like we had GMs just in the waiting room coming out, their final pitch, wanted to kind of give that final little love and show that extra love and just kind of going through the process of the whole thing, Jake, from the business side. But when all the dust settled and when it all went through, man, we changed a lot of lives in that moment. And for me, that is the most gratitude feeling in the world, right? As you know, Jake, I've been a numbers guy and a contract guy for the past 25 years, right, of my life, right? And I've helped a lot of businesses, right, make a lot of money and be successful. But I've never got the feeling that I got in this moment, right, where you have moms and dads like hugging me, crying, right, just because they're like, you've changed the trajectory of my son's life, right? You changed the dynamic of our family's life because things might not be as great, right, for them. And now is life changing, right? And now us helping these young men, and I know we'll do another series as we kind of walk down the whole thing of what we do at Protection United in regards to helping set up their LLCs, helping manage everything for them, helping with tax write-offs. And that's going to be a fun deal, Jake, when we get to that point, right? I know we'll be jumping in that starting next month. But it was just fun. And the thing that I appreciated the most about these general managers is that they love Protection United. Coach Dillingham gave us the biggest compliment, I would say, Jake, in regards to what we do here at Protection United. He said that his general manager said, you're one of the good guys. You're one of the good guys. You're not one of these agents that's just out for yourself. You're not out for, playing hardball and getting messy and trying to big timers. That you're actually one that wants to build a real relationship, not just with your clients, but also with us, right? And that, to me, is what this is all about, is protecting our guys, making sure that we fight for them and give them the best deal, but to also do things the right way, right? And so that was a fun week, right? Last year we got a little taste of this, right? Business just kind of getting started, and we just kind of got thrown in a little bit with that 25 class.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to have a full calendar year with our 26 class, and then in turn walk them through the entire process of their final camp season, all the way down to these contracts, and now they're getting ready to go to school in January to start their next chapter of their football life. And they got heavily compensated for it.
That they did, Jay. I'll leave those types of discussions to you, because it was very cool to see the full process of how everything goes together, right? Where I've worked in the media world, specifically around sports, for quite a while now, but to see the complete journey throughout an entire season of guys getting ready and getting excited during the preseason, to finally getting out there on the gridiron and proving their worth out there on the field, drawing even more offers because of what they've been able to do, all the way through to being there to take those pictures and get those videos of them signing the dotted line on signing day. It was a really special thing to be a part of, and I'm glad that we were able to make that dream a reality for a lot of these guys in this 2026 class.
No, exactly. And guess what, Jake? We're not even done, right? Because now we got the regular signing period that opens up February 4th. We have some other ones that wanted to wait.
That we do.
A little bit, right? They got offers, but they wanted to see what else was out there. And, through, talking to their family, obviously talking with us. And so we're going to have a whole nother slate of high schoolers, right? Some big time names that are going to come through, like a Rocco DeVita, right? One of the top kickers, right, in the state of Texas out of Tomball, or a David Brewer the fourth, right?
Yes,
Brew, right? One of the top wide receivers, right? That's going to be out there, right? That's looking to sign, right? We got a volleyball player, we got a basketball player, right? As well, that is going to be looking to sign in this later period, right? Randy Mills.
Randy is getting out there. We're getting Isaiah Stokes is going to get out there too as well.
Yeah, exactly. I want to show love to all our guys on here, because I don't want to leave anybody out, because I don't need no mama bears calling me upset. You didn't say nothing about my baby. Well, I'm about to mention your baby now. So you're looking at a situation that we probably already covered it, like a Jerome Bell.
Yes,
Jerome Bell is another one, right? Of course, we mentioned Randy, Isaiah, Brew. And that's it. So it was only Bell. There was only one that we left off. But we're going to help change. And then we know that there's going to be some other, because we got guys that are reaching out left and right, and big shout out to our internal scout team, right? Logan Mahoney's doing a phenomenal job of grading these young men, kind of helping us determine, they're a group of 5 guy, they're a P4 guy, they're a D2 guy, because everybody's journey is different.
Yep.
Right. And we're here to help. Anybody that wants to be blessed, we want to bless them. Like my guy D-Lag always says. So exciting times, Jake.
They are.
I can't wait to help this next slew. We got to get through our current college guys first, right? That's next step.
Of course.
Here, right? I'm dealing with the GMs. It's like, hey, we got other meetings to talk about. We got the high school guys. Now I'm back to talk about the current guys that you rep. And then, of course, transfer portal will be next. And then at that point, we move on to remaining 2026 class, as well as jumping in our 27 class.
Very exciting, Jay.
I cannot wait for these next set of podcasts to kind of share and give people a little insight to what really goes on here at Protection United, as well as what goes on in the world of recruiting, as well as NIL, since we are in a new world. And I'll end with this. I'm so glad that we're past that COVID year. We're finally starting to see everything get back on track.
Yes.
And the high school kids are not getting as screwed over like they were in 2020 through 2024, right? And so glad that we are now fully removed. They said it was going to take about 4 years of a full cycle. Now we're in that 5th year, about to be in that 6th year. Now things are going to start stabilizing themselves a little bit more. And then I love the fact that JUCO is an opportunity now. Prep schools are opportunity where they don't lose any years of eligibility by going those routes. And so there's a lot of different avenues that athletes can take. And you know, when we do our next high school campaign, the beginning of the year, right? I love to have a big seminar and kind of meet and bring in a bunch of high school kids so we can kind of talk about what we do, how we do it, and to see if we can help them as well.
Yes, and we'll get now to those guys that we helped out during this 2026 class, and we'll rapid fire through these because, folks, we got 8 guys that took part in the early signing day ceremonies for their respective schools. We were able to double dip in a couple of them, say hi to some faces that we haven't necessarily been able to get out to or show some love to, and we'll start out with one of the most loyal families in the entirety of Protection United with none other than Davis Kenny, who, congratulations on making his jump and making his move to the Arizona State Sun Devils. Had a little bit of fun with his older brother Dylan, where they were talking about potential matchups that they might have
TCU.
in the Big 12 conference between TCU and Arizona State. Dylan saying, hey, let me get off this block real quick and let me go bulldoze that safety out there real quick.
Hey, Dylan even said that he don't care if he gets a personal foul. He said he'll take one for the team and do his punishment just so he can mud roll his brother.
It'll be a fun thing to look forward to for sure. And joining Dylan and Davis out there in the Big 12 ranks will be Josiah Vilmel, one of the guys that was back and forth. Is this going to be my destination? Is this going to be my destination? But Kansas State came out as the front runner, and he will be joining a now starting to be stacked Wildcat defensive front as they have been putting in work doing these recruiting cycles, because not only is Josiah joining Kansas State, but also CJ Jackson will be joining the Kansas State Wildcats, repping that purple and white out there. Beautiful Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah, look here. Let's just say Kansas State, they love the hell out of Protection United, because you're looking at, first of all, Josiah Vilmel and CJ Jackson were not only number one on their board for their respective positions, but they were number one on about 30 other schools' boards, right? So, yeah, Kansas State. I always keep saying I want to go to Manhattan, Kansas, but then the GM, my buddy out there, Clint Brown, told me, I'd rather come to you so I can get Papados. So I'm like, hold up, man. What, he whining and dining me? But he said he'll pay for dinner. But he wants to come here. But no, seriously, like, very excited for them. And I look forward to meeting Coach Klein. I know the athletic director's already mentioned he wants me to come out and meet, the new head man and as well as the new staff, and continue to build a relationship with the ones that we currently have and build some new relationships with the other guys.
Absolutely. And I got a family connection over there too with Kansas State. My godfather, Nick Leckie, member of the Ring of Honor out there at Kansas State. So very excited to see the purple and white getting some representation here in the Protect You crew.
So you're basically telling me, hey, Jay, I want to go with you when you go. Is that your way of telling me that?
We'll iron out those details later. we'll discuss that later.
That means, you want to go. I got you. Hopefully we can get our same driver.
We get Andy.
Maybe Andy could just drive us in Manhattan. Save money on flights. He'll get us there in 30 minutes.
That he would. He would find a way. But all things seriousness, moving on, and also joining that Big 12 rank is none other than Javion Martin, a guy that we were very excited to not just bring on to the Protect You crew, but obviously very invested on the family side. Exactly. And I think Houston got themselves a dog with Javion Martin joining their squad.
Yeah, best tight end in the nation. I mean, I'm telling you, this kid will be playing on Sundays. Mark it down now. He is that guy.
Yes, absolutely. The Cougars got themselves one heck of a talent there. A guy that I would be very surprised if he isn't seeing significant playing time as a true freshman. Yeah. And then rounding out the Big 12 squad, Big 12 was hitting us up during this early signing day, is none other than Griffin Tillis, a guy who had a fairly tumultuous journey to get to this point here. Obviously dealt with a catastrophic injury that sidelined him before the season even really got started, but he had enough footage out there and he had enough commitment that Arizona was still able to honor that offer that came his way.
Yeah, exactly. That was his number one choice. He went out there, balled out at camp. They knew he was the real deal, and he's 100% healthy now. Arizona flew their doctors out to, evaluate him right after the surgery, and they're like, nope, everything's good, locked and loaded, ready to go. Cannot wait to get you out in Tucson. Will say I can't wait to get out there too. I heard it's gorgeous.
Yes.
So looking forward to going out to Tempe and Tucson.
Let's say we'll have two destinations out there at Arizona. How do you feel though, Jay, about El Paso getting out there to see the beautiful mountains and the desert areas? Because EJ Lartigue completed his signing day as he will be joining the UTEP Miners.
Yeah, no, I've been out there. Actually, was out there this past season, right? Because
Yes,
La Tech
absolutely.
played out there. It's gorgeous. The stadium's built in the mountains. You can see Mexico right there as well. It's just interesting. But no, I'm excited for EJ. I know they believe in him, and we helped EJ become the first high school player to get an NIL deal coming in, right? Because these smaller group of fives, you got to earn it before you can get paid. But that's how much they believed in EJ. And I was able to help negotiate a deal for him to be the first guy. It was funny, even going through getting the contracts and the paperwork. They've never done it before. So they're just like, wait, what do we do? How do we handle this? And, but because they do it for the transfer portal and the upperclassmen, but not for a freshman. So they had to create that. So glad we helped UTEP create something that they will hopefully use with some future Protection United guys coming in as freshmen, but definitely excited for EJ.
Historic changes and money moves that we're generating here at Protection United.
Yeah.
But then also making a jump over to that same Southwest type area, and a guy that we already have a connection with is none other than Marco Beltran, who made his commitment and finally signed the dotted line as he joins the New Mexico Lobos, joining Chris Gant and that squad out there in New Mexico, Jay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be great watching both of them, not only be in the same safety room, but, for Marco, to learn behind, a Chris Gant that has been doing it, for a couple of years now, right? And so bringing in Marco to New Mexico, I know how excited they are. Bo Davison, general manager, they're a good friend of mine, and Derek Lagways told us from Jump Street, thank y'all for introducing us to this young man. Once we got his film and broke it down, safety coach went crazy, defensive coordinator went crazy. And this is going to be a great spot for Marco, and, excited to watch him compete in the Mountain West.
Yes, and then rounding out the group that we got here is none other than Raleigh Pinto, a guy that we knew he was going to be committed to Jacksonville State, but finally able to complete the last steps because, Jay, I'm very excited to see what Raleigh's going to get up to when he does join that Gamecock squad.
Yeah, exactly. And Raleigh's a homegrown talent, right? He's 5 minutes away from the campus, right? So Jacksonville State jumped on him as a sophomore, and they never got off the gas, right? They did a phenomenal job of blocking off all the other schools to where Raleigh was like, hey, I'm locked in with you guys. And, we're looking forward to watching him, play for them. They're in Conference USA. So once again, a conference that doesn't have a whole lot in regards to NIL, but the outside endorsement play is going to be great for Raleigh his freshman year. And then, of course, you earn it in that conference. I think UTEP is happy that they're going to be going to the Mountain West. I forgot to mention that with EJ. So Marco and EJ could be seeing each other again. Little College Park, Klein Collins, but now we're on a collegiate level. But Jacksonville State's getting a baller, out of Raleigh. And honestly, I think, an absolute steal. I feel Raleigh could have played at a bigger group of five and maybe even a P4 level just because of his skill set and the things that he brings to the table. I mean, dude, I even saw him playing basketball. This dude was out there dunking in a game. Like, I'm talking, he's a dude.
Mhm.
Like, that dude is a dude. Very athletic, man. And let's just say Jacksonville State better do what they need to do to keep him, right, as he starts, producing and progressing.
Yes, because he was very dominant out of his wide receiver position. We saw him get a lot of punt returns, a lot of kick return touchdowns out there at Piedmont. And so now he rounds out the final stages of the 2026 recruiting class for Protection United. And with that, Jay, we have an opportunity now to sit down and talk about what some of our favorite moments were from that early national signing period where a lot of things, obviously hectic, things, moving pieces going on. But
Yeah.
I think it's important, too, that we take time and look, if not through rose-tinted glasses, but certainly with a great amount of hindsight on how fun a lot of this period was for us.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Obviously the first thing that comes to my mind is the negotiations with the general managers. That puts a smile on my face and gets me out of bed every morning. I'm getting to live my dream. Me being a double major, right, in finance and economics, making my mom proud because I'm using both of my degrees, right, because there is a supply and demand component here, right, and being able to understand just that part of how life works, but then also drilling down to each individual team and looking at new coach, hot seat coach, or looking at where that position is and what that room is looking like. Did you lose a lot of people? Do you expect to lose a lot of people? How high are you on our guy? What's your need there? And so getting to like go back and forth with all of that and, having, great conversations and really just doing deep, the contractor negotiations was probably my biggest highlight, I would say.
Yes, and one part that I always love and that never really gets stale for me is being in the gym and being in those areas when the commitment
Yeah.
happens. I've been a part of several of these journeys. In fact, I was in the cafeteria at Willis when DJ signed and made his commitment to the University of Florida. So those moments never
Yeah.
really get stale for me of finally seeing those high schoolers realize their dreams and make that jump to the next level is always something that's really super. It just feels like those fake moments that you always see on the movies of
Yeah.
we get to pay off the investment.
Right.
We get to pay off everything that has gone into making this part special. And so
Yeah.
that's always been the biggest highlight of signing days for me, at least.
Yeah, no, I get that, man. And I would say like probably the other thing, right? The second thing would be, me reviewing the contracts, like, with our in-house sports attorney, right? A lot of our competitors, they don't want to cover that fee, right? Because that's hurting their commission. But
Mhm.
here we're truly in this thing, for the best interest of our clients. And so that's a fee that we absorb. But is well worth it
Yes.
because the things that our guy found in these contracts, it's like, whoa, and it wasn't anything malicious from where we felt the university was trying to pull a fast one or being shady, but the way that certain things read, it left our guys exposed. And he was able to find it in a lot of these contracts, and we were able to go back and get the language changed in certain things. So that was a really feel good feeling for me as I went back to the parents and explained to them, hey, this is how this reads. We need to change this because then it showed them, wow, you really are trying to protect my baby. You're not just in this and reading the first page of how much money they're going to get it, how much money you make. Like you're actually going deeper and looking at things that you don't really benefit for, and it doesn't really affect you one way or another. So that was probably my second best, I'd say.
Yeah, and I'm going to feed off a little bit of my last one too for my second favorite moment of this early signing day
Okay.
period of getting into those interview type settings with a lot of our clients where if y'all follow us on social media, you know that you saw the interview that we had with Davis as well as the interview that we had with Josiah before their commitments of being able to talk with them and then pick their mind of there's all this fanfare. We got the balloons, we got the
Yeah.
custom cookies, the
Yeah.
custom chocolate bars that the
Yeah.
Kinney family put together. But from your perspective, what does this all feel like to
Right.
you? How much of an investment do you feel like you're paying off? How special is it to see the aunties, the uncles, the
Yeah.
grandparents get to be a part
Yeah.
of this too? What does that all feel like to you? And to hear those genuine, honest answers from a lot of our guys, I think is really what I love to see out of that. Of you get to pay it off by signing the dotted line, but then you also get to pay it off by getting that interview, getting that face-to-face type environment. That's really what it's all about to me, Jay.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that, right? And apparently, Computer Jesus wants us to do an interview with Raleigh, so add that to the list of another interview you need to do. And then I would say my last thing, as we get ready to close out, is going to be getting to travel to all these universities. I'm excited, right, to see. Jalen's blessed me to be able to go see different parts of the nation that I probably wouldn't have ever gone to beforehand, right? So we talked about getting out to Arizona, right? Going out to Manhattan, Kansas, wherever our transfer portal guys end up being. So, getting that opportunity to do that and then continuously go build relationships, right? And get to meet people face to face and actually see the facilities is something that excites me, as being a part of this whole journey.
And I think Justin was actually just previewing my last point here because one of the best things that I like to see and was always a constant part of was looking at those sleek graphics and then thinking, man, we could use some of those. We can use some of that action. But working with our in-house social media team to make sure that those graphics come out looking as clean as they did, because they did a pretty fantastic
Yeah.
job, especially too for the amount of guys that we
Right.
had in that signing period.
Yeah.
So they did a
Yes.
great job in
All
terms
right.
of getting those sleek edits together for those interviews, making sure that the photos get spliced in at the right points, and then paint it all off with
Right.
the final commitment graphic.
Yep.
name and shining lights of Josiah's going to Kansas State.
Yeah.
Javion's going to U of H.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about in terms of putting the it's a nice little bow on the present there as we move closer to Christmas, obviously, too.
Yeah.
But that's what it's all about.
No, I agree.
You got the business side on lock, and you do a fantastic job of
Thank
that.
you, sir.
But I'm going to stay in my lane and say that we killed it on the media side of it, too.
No, we did, brother. And what a fun final week, because it was a buildup, like I said, from November 15th leading up until December 5th of that last day, and we had 2 guys that signed on the last day. The majority of them did a third. The 4th was like still final negotiation day. And then the 5th, right, we got our last 2 in Raleigh and Josiah. But it was fun.
Yes.
It was fun.
It was a lot to be a part of, and it was great to see because everyone always talks about, this guy chose this school over mine. And then we get to come back and say, well, let me explain why they went that direction and why those types of things happen. But it's all behind us now. We're very happy for our 2026 class that we're joining the early signing day signees in terms of throwing their hats in the Division I collegiate ranks. We're very excited for all of y'all. But with that, we end another episode here of the Protect You podcast. Jay, this was a great one. We got to highlight a lot of our great guys' talents, SEC champions and Justin Williams, state champions and Kingston Buyer, new blood joining the Protect You crew, and rounding it all out with the guys making the jump to their collegiate dreams.
Yeah, bro. Fun.
Yes, we've been very excited for this one. We hope that y'all were very excited for this one as well, as we thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in and week out. If you like what you see, be sure to drop a subscribe over on the Protection United YouTube channel. We do videos like this every single week. And be sure to follow us on our social media platforms of X, Instagram, Facebook, as we will be posting clips for this one where if you like the taste of those clips, you're going to like the whole package here on the Protect You podcast. But that does it for this week, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Jake Wilson, as always, alongside Jay Mickens. Justin Woods was our fantastic producer. We hope to catch you all in the next one, and we'll see you around.